Hello everyone and welcome back to Unity of Command. This is a standalone scenario Crimea from the base game. And actually this is a special one, a unique one, because this is the introductory scenario. As you can see, there is a tutorial as well, but it is exactly that. It's a bunch of text boxes explaining how the game works, so it's not really a scenario by any means. However, the introductory scenario, which has a proper title, as I've just said, is actually a real map. Very easy, very small, but still it deserves to be on this playlist. And this was the first map that I've ever played, so this is not going to be like perfect. I actually try a few times. You know, when you come to this game from other ones, I had played a lot of Panzer General and Panzer Corps back in the day, but the mechanics are a bit different, and obviously how you have to play this one is kind of new. So you need to lose a lot of the old instincts and pick up new ones as well. So this is not going to show you the most optimal way, but again, this is the the introductory scenario. You really shouldn't have any issues with it. So, June the 7th, 1942. This is the introductory scenario. It features a guide through some of the more advanced mechanics in Unity of Command. Actually, it doesn't, so there is no guide, no text boxes whatsoever, only at the beginning. Germans complete the expulsion of Soviet forces from the Crimea prior to the beginning of their campaign proper. Right. As I've said, this is the smallest map by area, I think. Well, maybe not. Maybe even the previous one was just this size. This is very easy. As you can see immediately that we outnumber the Soviets very heavily. We have 4 bombers, 4 air attack special actions every turn, so that's extremely unfair. The Soviets have nothing. They only have inexperienced infantry divisions, which all have 7 steps, by the way, so they're pretty strong. This one is dug in. And on our side we have a bunch of infantry units, some Romanians, and 1 Panzer division, which is the key to your success, at least for a brilliant victory. So we have two objectives that we need to hit. The first one is Kerch, and if you come to this game like I did, you know, without experience, this can be tricky. Command and supply center of the Soviet bridgehead, to be taken by the end of turn 2, and that's, you know, when you first see this game, that's something. Sevastopol, on the other hand, is very easy. Base of the Soviet Black Sea Fleet, you only need to take it by the end of turn 4. Basically, after taking it on turn 2, just on turn 3 send all your bombers here and, you know, throw everything you have at it. If the bombers were extremely unsuccessful, wait until turn 4, repeat, and then you'll be fine. The terrain is nothing, literally nothing. You'll be fighting in open terrain everywhere except for, of course, Sevastopol, the city itself. These mountains should not affect you in any way. And we have 1 supply source, that's from the north. It's off-road for some reason, but it's enough to reach almost everywhere except for here. 4, 3, 2, so basically everywhere. The Soviets have their supply sources literally in the victory hexes, so you cannot cut them off. This scenario does not teach you how to work with supply. And the way I would now recommend approaching it is to use the tank to first overrun and remove as many of these infantry units as possible, and then try to push ahead. And you will have to push, you know, 1 hex ahead and destroy 1 of them. And, you know, just keep pushing, try to get as far ahead as you can, and then in the next turn you have to somehow make sure that the tank ends up next to the victory hex and you have enough units to enter. This is actually can get a tiny bit tricky, but as the scenario is so small, you can restart it really quickly. It's not really a challenge, and the second victory objective is just laughable. Alright, so we remove this one. As after 4 air attacks, it's not a real threat, and we managed to overrun this infantry, so we attack again, and thereby we gained a level of experience. Now this unit retreated here, which is suboptimal, but fortunately it retreated again. And here's something, be mindful of how much you can move. So for instance, I should have moved this unit here, and the Jaegers could have moved one step forward to be more effective, but you know, back then I wasn't so much aware of the finer details of this game. And yeah, we're just bunching up around Sevastopol, so that, oh, actually it was 3 attacks, right? So the fourth one just came here for no reason whatsoever. And I don't know if I've discussed this, explained this mechanic. It said city in ruins due to the bombing run. If a city is in ruins, that gives a huge bonus for the defenders. So bombing, and that's the only thing you can that can cause this. So if your air attack can cause the city to be in ruins, and then the defenders have an advantage, you know, fighting in the ruins. Whatever. Now we need to repeat, so it's turn 2, we absolutely must win, and the trickier part is not getting rid of this unit, but getting to it with our tank. So what that means is that we need to bomb this this infantry unit 4 times, and yes, and remove it, and fortunately it retreated towards a favorable spot. And now our tank can actually get there. We this unit is not entrenched, it's on a clear hex. I know it's a victory hex, but it's nothing special, so the tank will be able to take care of it. It was actually surprisingly weak, but you know, it retreated and overran it, and this Jaeger unit never moved, so it had the movement points to get in. Now I decide, just, you know, out of fun, to try to remove the Soviets. As you see, it doesn't go very well. I could have waited another turn. And yeah, don't do this. Don't send the Romanians to attack. We also receive 5 standard infantry steps as reinforcements, and Romanian infantry, which is called a cavalry unit for some reason. So I just deployed it because why not? It's for free anyway. Doesn't matter. And yeah, and now it's turn 3. We just bomb this city 4 times. It's already ruined, so you cannot cause any more damage to it. So far no effect, but now 3 supplies, sorry, 3 steps suppressed, 2 more. Now this unit is extremely weak. It only has 2 active steps. Obviously it's still fighting back, it's fighting for its life. And my infantry shuffling is very weak here, so you definitely should do it, you know, in a way that you spare your, you know, this if your infantry is more closer to the point to be taken, then you can move in, attack, and move out again, which is a trick I didn't know at this time. It doesn't work in Panzer Corps. And what's really funny is that this unit now we had a lot of texts here, so it got breached and overrun and cornered. Cornered doesn't mean anything, but what I didn't realize that it was overrun, so this unit could still attack, but I did not notice that, so I actually withdrew the unit for some reason. But the Romanians are good enough to finish it. So at this moment we have won. Obviously we have units that haven't moved, so they can just march in and win, so I decide to remove the rest of the Soviet units from the map. It's not going to be a problem with our Panzer division, and it isn't. And now, yeah, that one is not going to survive. Our tank makes sure of that. The end. So once again, Sevastopol is very easy to capture. The one in the east, try to do as I did. So you need to push the tank 1 step forward in the first turn, destroy with it as many units as you can, and in the second turn you need to pave a way for it to be able to reach the victory hex, and it will dislodge the unit there. And you also have to have something that can conquer, obviously, the victory hex. The AI won't be able to recapture it, so it's not a real threat. If you manage to sit a decent unit in there, then you're set. So that's the introductory scenario, Crimea. It's actually a great way to introduce you to some of the mechanics. You can also practice a lot of infantry shuffling with it. The real core. So basically, as I always said, if you're new to unity of command, there are only 2 mechanics that are really that really stand out compared to other hex-based World War II strategy games. And the one is the supply, the other is the area of control. This does a decent job at showing how area of control works. On the other hand, it doesn't teach you anything about supply, because you know you're practically always in supply, so it's kind of moot. Um, so I don't think it's sufficient to teach you, to get you ready for the main campaigns or the main scenarios. But it's a fun little scenario, so I thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on a bigger challenge. Bye bye.